How many times have you watched the channel, see them introduce a product, they tell you how great it is, but then you never hear of it or see it again on their channel? Well, we're not doing that. We're making full circle, and we're going to reintroduce you to MOVA's Lidax Ultra 3000 AWD. We showed it to you a couple months ago whenever we initially got it, told you how great it was, and sometimes something seems really great at the beginning and you might not think that afterwards, or it may be the greatest thing ever. Well, today we're going to let you know the truth about that and what our true thoughts are, because as y'all know, time is one thing that you cannot make more of, and as y'all know, with everything that we've had going on, time has been a big thing here. We initially set this up out at our garden spot. We kind of expanded it, and so it really wasn't being used to its full potential because the area we were mowing is not near as big as what this thing is capable of. And our backyard, we're trying to turn it into a nice backyard oasis. Eventually we're going to put a pool in, some flower beds, things like that, and it kind of got away from us. And I got to thinking, I was like, why are we just letting that sit out there and work very little when we could put it up here and actually put it to good use on a bigger area? And so that's what we're going to do today. Like I said, it's a huge time saver having something like this, and we're fixing to take it over, show you the setup, and explain exactly some of the features, give you an overview of that, and set it up and let you see it work. So when we initially got it, we brought it out of the box, showed you all that, which at the end of this video, we'll actually link that one in our end screen. So if you want to go back and see a more in-depth details about the specs and all that, you can do that. But just to give you a quick overview, this is the home station, base station right here. Basically, this is where it comes to charge. It's super simple to install. It has little plastic screws. They're anchors that go into the ground. There's 6 of them, 3 on each side. It comes with a plastic tool, Allen wrench, to screw those in. You do that. It'll drive up here. It's got a little brush here to clean off the lens on top, and then it'll pull up here and it'll actually start charging. Super easy to install, no wires, anything like that. The great thing about this is it uses 360-degree 3D LiDAR and also AI dual vision, which means up here it has a laser that pretty much 3D maps everywhere around that it goes, so it knows where to go, and everything is in relation to this, so you don't have to have an RTK to set up, antennas like that, wires underground, nothing like that. Super simple. It's basically anchor this to the ground, plug it in, do a few little setups in the app, and you're good to go. All those older systems and stuff and other systems, they require either underground wires or an RTK antenna. Well, this one does not require it, which makes it super simple. I'm fixing to show you. I'm going to drive it up here and show you how it goes onto the charging station. It'll give you a little cue to let you know that it is charging and all that. So let me get that pulled up and do that for you, so you can see exactly how it will do. We're connecting to it via Bluetooth right now, and then we're just going to ease up here. It's pretty high speed, so I like to go slow.
Start charging.
And then you hear it says start charging, and now it's working, and your little light up here changes and starts flashing green while it's charging. So now that it's on the charging station, I'm going to tell you a little bit of the features. I'm going to just hit the highlights on them, and then we're going to put this thing to work so you can actually see what it does. But like I said, if you want more in-depth stuff, we do have another video that we will link at the end of this one, so you can go back and watch it too. First off, check how this thing is made. This thing is a beast. I mean, look at the wheels on this, the grip on them and stuff. With this, the all-wheel drive has 4 independent hubs, which means they all can work independently, which means it's going to give you the most power, and actually allows you to climb up 80% slopes and go over obstacles that are 2.4 inches tall, which not all models or different kinds offer that kind of thing. So with the beefy wheels like this on the back, this thing is going to be able to handle those steep, slippery slopes, and you're not going to have to worry about it on that. The other thing is, look how wide this thing is. It has a 15.8 inch cutting width on it, which is super great, and it's ultra trim 2.0, means that as you're going around flower beds, pools, decks, things like that, it can get within 1.2 inches of that, mean you're not going to have to do near as much weed eating and things like that, because the disc actually float. Underneath it has 2 independent discs that are floating disc, and they have 6 blades each, which means they're adjustable up and down, which you have a height range of 1.2 inches up to 3.9. Some people want their yards mowed really short. They basically want to kill their grass until the next time, so they don't have to mow it as much. But when you're not actually having to do it, you don't have to worry about that as much. But if you really need that really close trim, you've got that. And then some people like a lush lawn that's taller, soft. Kids are going to be out playing in animals, stuff like that, so up to 3.9 inches. And the fact that you can set independent mowing zones and set your own mowing schedule, you can keep your lawn looking pristine all season long. The other great thing is, with the AI technology on this machine, it can recognize over 300 plus different obstacles for obstacle avoidance. So if your kids leave something out, your dog, something like that, it's going to recognize that obstacle and not run over and tear it up. And also, if your pets are out and about, it's got a pet safety mode where it's not going to hurt them either. So super safe. They've thought of everything with all the features on this. It also has a rain sensor back here, so if you have a little pop-up shower come up that you weren't aware of, it's going to sense it there. It's going to return to the home station as soon as it dries out and thinks it's safe to mow. It's going to resume mowing right away. So it's not something you're going to have to think, man, I got to go back out there and redo that. They've thought of everything on that as well. And some of y'all may not live in the best neighborhoods. You never know. Out on the farm, out in the rural, you're on a trip or something, you may be thinking, man, I don't know what to leave that out there because I'm afraid somebody will steal it. Well, it has anti-theft on it as well. If they pick it up, which we'll demonstrate later, it'll sound an alarm, let you know it's been picked up. And also it has a place where you can hide an air tag on it as well. So if you want to track it that way, it's in that. Like I said, they've thought of everything on this. And being able to set up independent mowing zones with different mowing schedules is super great, which we're going to show you how to set up mowing zones in a minute. We're also going to do like a no-go zone. So if you have an area you don't want cut at all ever, which we have an area like that we're going to explain why, you can set that up. And then also channels. So if you have like a zone here and you have something across your driveway and you don't want it to mow your driveway, of course you don't. You can set up a channel so it'll go between the zones. And then it's going to, precisely where it's going to cross at, so you don't have to worry about it going somewhere you don't want it to go. So we're fixing to get this thing off here, show you how to do the manual setup for the mapping zones. Like I said, the AI technology, if you have a yard, it can do it automatically as well, but we've got some stuff in here we really want to control it around and have a little bit more control. So we're going to do the manual mode, show you how that works, and we're fixing to get right into it. Okay, so we're fixing to set up our first zone. It's going to get out, it's going to calibrate so it knows where it's at in relation to the station, and then we're going to manually map this out. I'm going to set my starting point right here, and then I'm just going to turn to the left, and I'm just going to go around the whole boundary and get that set first, and then go back and set my no-go zones. But we're just going to follow. I'm not getting right against the house right now because we have some wires and stuff for our internet that come out, but we're just going to make a somewhat close trip to it. We can always adjust it later. What's really neat about this, it's just kind of like having your own little adult version of a remote control car. Kind of slow if you're trying to do some speed racing or something, but when you're wanting it precise, it's just the right speed. You can see the wire here. This runs power to our shed. This is going to be the no-go zone. Eventually we're going to bury this, but it crosses our septic lines here, and so we've got to figure out exactly where that's at to make sure we don't tear anything up. And for those not familiar, this used to be all just like cattle pasture, and so it's not been manicured or anything like that, so it's got a lot of rough spots, holes, divots, things like that. So if this thing can handle our yard, it can definitely handle yours. Okay, we're coming into the home stretch, fixing to close off our zone. You can see it coming into south. Okay, it says robot has returned to starting point. Do you want to close the boundary? Confirm. So it's going to close the boundary, and that's going to be our zone 1.
Boundary is closed successfully.
Okay, so you can see on the screen now, it's a pretty good size area we've got there. So let's go and create a no-go zone. So if you want to go to do a no-go zone, you're just going to drive over to where you want it. And we're just going to kind of start it right here. Set no-go zone, hit starting point, and we're just going to go over right through here, and we're going to keep it a little wide because sometimes the kids may bump that wire or something when they're walking across, or I may move it some whenever I'm weed eating. So we're just going to let it go here and do a little circle around it so that it stays away from it. You can see on the map it is making a red area, and that will keep the mower from going in this area. And then once we get this thing buried at some point, we can go back in and take out this no-go zone, and it can mow it all. But it works just like creating a zone. You're just going to make a circle boundary around what you don't want it to go, and when we get back to that starting point, it's going to recognize it. Oh, I had to hit complete. So then it lets you pick what kind of thing is there. So for us, it really doesn't, none of this fits, so we can just hit default confirmed, boundaries closed. We know what it is, but now on our map, we don't have to worry about it going there. So I'm going to show you to do a channel. It's basically the same thing. You're just going to hit create path. You're going to hit a starting point from inside one boundary, drive to the other, and then end the point, and that will create your channel there. So it's basically the same step, but since we don't have another zone set up where we're going to be going to yet, I'm just going to explain that there. So now that we've got that, we're fixing to go in and see if we can't get this set up to start mowing. So now we're going to hit finish map. It's generating your map, says it could take up to 3 minutes. And this is what our map looks like. So we're going to hit use. And now we can go in here, and this is where I'm going to hit some of the settings at to show you what all it can do. So we're going to do standard mowing efficiency. And the mowing height is in centimeters. So 5 centimeters would be 2 inches. We probably want to go a little bit above that. So I'm just going to set it at 6. Because that'll get a decent height that's not too much. You can set your mowing directions, which you can make it do a checkerboard pattern, which it'll mow all one way and then turn and go the other way. And you can also set which way you want it to mow. The initial direction, which we're going to change it to 90 because I want it to mow side to side instead of up and down for the first time. It's got automatic edging. We've got safe edge mowing. The Ultra Trim 2.0 means it's going to do the close cut on around the edges. Obstacle avoidance, you can set how far you want it to stop. We're going to keep it at 20 centimeters. Because that's the farthest it can be. That way it stops well ahead of when it's going to be. And then we're going to hit, it also has an option now where you can hit to capture photos of AI detected obstacles. So we're just going to hit save on that. And now we've got that, we're going to hit start. So now it's going to mow this whole area except for our no-go zone. So the blades just activated. Listen how quiet. I don't even know if you can hear that, but I'm going to stand right beside it. But super quiet. But see how it handled that dip, went right through it, no issues. We're going to sit here and let it do its thing, and we'll come out and let you kind of see what it looks like after it's worked for a while, and then tell you a little bit more about what we really like it and some features and stuff, and what our true thoughts are about this product. Check out how good this looks. You can actually see the lines, and I'm sure once it does the checkerboard pattern, you can see it the other way too. I think it's going to get dark before we get to that point, but the great thing is this guy keeps working even in the dark, so we don't have to stay out here with him. He'll just keep on working and get the job done. Okay, the other thing we talked about was the obstacle avoidance. So buckets are something we have out here a lot, so we're just going to stick it down and see what happens. Okay, it recognizes something's there. It's like, oh no, I don't want to run over this. And look, it's going to work its way right around it. That's how great the obstacle avoidance and obstacle detection works on this machine. Really great. You're not going to have to worry about toys, buckets, anything like that left out that's going to get destroyed. Okay, so I paused the machine, but I told you I was going to tell you about the anti-theft protection. And so this is what it does whenever somebody goes to lift it up.
Robot is lifted. Please check. The robot has got lost. Please move the robot to a flat and open place within the map, and robot is lifted. Please put it back on the ground and verify your PIN on the display.
And so when it does that, it wants you to verify your PIN to make sure that it was not somebody stealing it, it was actually you. If they don't enter the PIN or they don't know your PIN, the robot's not going to work for them. So we're going to go through here and just put our PIN in real quick so we can hit play to continue, and it's going to pick back up. So once you pick it up, it doesn't know right away if you moved or not, so it's going to do a little quick check to make sure it knows where it's at before it gets started. That way it stays accurate on your mapping. So to get back to our initial question that we started out with, how happy are we with this machine? We absolutely love it. The app is so functional, has so many customizations that you can do to make this thing work for you however you need to. Like I said, between setting the different zones, scheduling, heights, this thing has it all. And we are just happy with how much time this thing saves us, because even though while it's still working, we can be working on other stuff, and like I said, time's the one thing you can't make more of. So the other elephant in the room might be, what about the cost? Okay, so let's think about this. Let's think you have a lawn service that comes to your property every week, every 2 weeks, whatever. Think about how much you spend on that weekly. I mean, it's probably more when you add it all together what you spend in a season than you think. So let's say that you add that up. This machine, yeah, it's not cheap, but it's not a cheap machine. It works really well. But if you think about how much it costs versus what you're paying for lawn care, this thing comes with a 3-year warranty. So even if it only lasts the warranty period, if you divide that out, I'll almost bet you that this is going to be cheaper. Plus, you don't have to worry about the security of having a stranger come on your property or having to work out things with the landscaper, lawn person, whoever it is. So if you would like to get one of these, be sure to check out the link in the description below. You can go in there, it's going to give you the best deals on it, and it also they have several different models, so if you want to check and see if one may be better suited for you, like I said, this is for 3/4 of an acre. They have some that's a little bit smaller. So be sure to check out the link in the description below, find out which model is going to work best for you, and get it ordered today.